It's Tuesday, May 12th, and time for your Barbados Today Morning News Update. Taxi operators are calling for the removal of road tax for their sector. The plea to government comes as they feel the economic fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic. It also comes on the heels of a suggestion by the Democratic Labour Party's spokesperson on small business, Ryan Walters, that government utilize their services in helping to transport commuters. The taxi operators say they are not in favor of such a move unless government pays them a stipend. They've also described the requirement for them to pay road tax as unfair.
We pay road tax. Why you say pay road tax? We pay. That's another thing too. Cause we high paying road tax. Everything that we just pay for our permit to renew our permit annually, and that's it. But not pay for road tax. Why we got pay road tax too? And public car people, big jeeps, Range Rovers, Mercedes, driving about. They for paying road tax. And the man will there NZD taxi paying road tax for it. It's not fair.
The taxi operators are also calling for government to give them some form of subsidy during these challenging times.
No, we ain't getting towards the end of the while. You understand what they could do is give me some money. Let me start home, maybe start home, relax too.
Talk to me. See what our struggle, what our everyday fight, how we survive, where we live, who we got one in our households. Let me say how they can help me. If you give me $200 or $300, okay. A little bit is better than nothing at all. Yeah, $200 or $300 minimum a week. You understand? Because we gotta buy food. We still gotta pay a bill, a water bill, a phone bill. Internet bill, the man said, you have to pay this bill at any day. Because they tell you no, you can pay online. How can you pay online? We out here not getting income. We are self-employed.
The Barbados Nurses Association has expressed concern about inadequate safety equipment for healthcare workers in the Accident and Emergency Department of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, amid other issues. BNA President Joanna Waterman expressed the concerns in her message for the launch of Nurses Week 2020, which has largely been overshadowed by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Our Kareem Smith has more.
Waterman has also outlined numerous problems which were affecting nurses prior to COVID-19 that, in her opinion, must not exist after the crisis has passed. These include inadequate staffing quotas, sporadic salary payments, insufficient remuneration, inadequate training programs, and material resources. Meanwhile, Minister of Health and Wellness Jeffrey Bostic in his message lauded nurses for their invaluable role, which has been magnified times-fold amid the global pandemic. While expressing satisfaction with the stockpiles of PPEs and efforts to shield the country's main healthcare institutions from COVID-19 as announced by Minister of Health and Wellness, Waterman vowed the association would continue to closely monitor developments. She, however, added that appropriate training, mandatory testing, and quarantine for nurses exposed to infected patients is imperative. The BNA president also wants to see more widespread testing of frontline nurses and compensation for any harm resulting from the existing hazardous environment. Minister Bostic, meanwhile, expressed his commitment to providing those necessary PPE and other essential items to nurses. Kareem Smith for Barbados Today.
There's still no official word about the recent controversial appointment of a second Deputy Commissioner of Police. This as two more officials declined to speak on the matter, which became the subject of public discussion after opposition Senator Caswell Franklin raised concern about the appointment of Assistant Commissioner of Police Oral Williams as Deputy Commissioner effective May 1, 2020. Our Emmanuel Joseph picks up the story.
A check with senior officials of Parliament by Barbados Today revealed that no measure had been passed in that chamber in the last 2 years which permitted the appointment of two deputies. Last week, when Attorney General Dale Marshall was asked by the media to address the matter as government's chief legal advisor, he declined, telling reporters he had no intention of engaging in a tit-for-tat with Franklin. And on Monday, when this media house reached out to Police Commissioner Tyrone Griffith, he too would not comment, but instead referred Barbados Today to Chairman of the Protective Services Commission, Branford Goddard. Goddard also sidestepped the issue, stating only that an appropriate comment will be made at the appropriate time. Erwin Boyce has been serving as Deputy Commissioner of Police since being appointed on May the 1st, 2018. Of note is that Boyce had taken over from the same Williams who was acting as deputy at the time. The president of the Democratic Labour Party, Verla de Pisa, has also been questioning the appointment of Williams. De Pisa pointed out that there has been no announcement of Boyce's retirement from the force and asked how then could there be the appointment of Williams to that same post. Emmanuel Joseph for Barbados Today.
13 Trinidadian students at the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus will finally be heading home in early June. The Trinidadian government is, however, insisting that the students be quarantined both here and on their return home. National Security Minister Stuart Young disclosed that discussions have already started with the principals of the Cave Hill and Mona campuses on the students' return.
We've been in discussions with Barbados, and we're going to conclude those discussions. We're going to speak to the Prime Minister of Barbados to make the offer that students in Barbados who want to return, once the Barbados government welcomes it, we will take them to Barbados. We will then go to Jamaica, bring down the students from Jamaica to Barbados and to Trinidad. But you must quarantine for 14 days there. You must also then, when you return to Trinidad, you will be put into state quarantine for another 14 days. It has been suggested, and I want to completely debunk that suggestion, that the government abandoned anyone. The government of Trinidad and Tobago has not abandoned any national, including our students, wherever you are in the world. What we've done is carefully managed, after getting the advice and consultation with our public health experts, the population here. And as you've been seeing, we are carefully managing those returning to Trinidad and Tobago. There are hundreds of cruise workers out there. Other CARICOM islands, I think I heard the number for Jamaica is in the region of 7,000. For Trinidad, we have over 300. So bombarding and attacking the Minister of National Security and saying that I am preventing, it is simply not so.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from the region, Bermuda recorded its 8th COVID-19 death over the weekend. Health Minister Kim Wilson gave an update of the numbers at a news conference yesterday.
Between Sunday and today, there were 469 test results received by the Ministry of Health, and one was positive for COVID-19. I am, however, deeply saddened to say that we lost another person to COVID-19 over the weekend. As it is the norm, details of this individual will not be made public by the ministry in respect of the family's right to privacy, especially at this difficult time. And again, our prayers remain with that family. Bermuda now has 119 total confirmed positive cases. Their status is as follows. There are 45 active cases, of which 37 persons are under active public health monitoring. And I am pleased to say and to share with you that some persons that were previously hospitalized have now been discharged. So we have only 8 persons that are hospitalized, and a total of 66 persons have now fully recovered. As an indicator, as I've indicated earlier, the total deceased is now at 8.
And finally, the U.S. Justice Department is weighing whether to file hate crime charges against the white men who killed 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery. The unarmed black man was gunned down while jogging in the small coastal town of Brunswick, Georgia. More in this report from Reuters TV.
Monday's announcement from the DOJ comes just days after state investigators arrested a white former police officer, Gregory McMichael, and his son, Travis, on charges of murder and aggravated assault. The shooting death of Arbery, which occurred on February 23rd, was captured on video that has since gone viral, sparking outrage across the country. Civil rights activists are saying it marks yet another example of white perpetrators attacking an innocent black man. Critics are questioning why it took local law enforcement more than 2 months to arrest the suspects, prompting Georgia's state attorney general to vow to investigate the delay.
That's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.